Good evening. Welcome to Muse on the News. I'm Lisa.
I'm Cal.
I'm Morgan.
And I am Aaron.
Oh, welcome, Aaron. It's your first time on Muse on the News. It's wonderful to have you with us. For those who are tuning in for the first time, this is our topical news show. We pick out some stories from the queer press and give you our news and opinions, our laughs and our giggles, our anxieties, our frustrations,
our scribble,
and yeah, we hope that you enjoy it. So, Aaron, do you want to it's your first time on Muse on the News. Do you just want to tell the viewers and the listeners about how you came to get involved with Pride in Surrey and what you've been up to for us?
Sure, of course. Well, I'm Aaron. Nice to meet everyone in the LGBTQ plus online community. I am a performer and singer and songwriter, and I've done a few bits of these for Cal in the past. We've done a little cheeky interview for one of the comedy nights. I've also been working on a little weekly show with my best friend Beth Cunningham, writing partner, and we're doing a weekly comedy show called Stories from the Shares, in which we just talk about all the filthy things that we've been doing throughout the week, cluttered in with some silly songs, funny sagas, you know. But the reason that I became involved with Pride in Surrey is because I am doing a fringe show this year at the Guildford Fringe, great friends of ours, called The Unimportance of Being Gay, which is on July 17th at the back room at the Star. So if you fancy coming down, let me know, got put in that plug.
Yes. Yeah, why not?
Tell us the dates of the Fringe.
The dates of the Fringe. We are in Saturday, the 17th of July at 9 p.m. at the back room of the Star.
Okay.
And it's a great venue in Guildford, isn't it?
Yeah, it is an awesome venue. And just to get an extra plug in for anyone that's not seen it, head over to our YouTube channel, LGBTQ plus online. You can watch Aaron and Beth's incredibly outrageous and naughty show. I'll just run a little trailer for you just so you can see. So the live premiere for that goes out 8 o'clock on Friday evenings, but they're all in our YouTube channel for you to go back and watch. And I really recommend you do, because they are brilliant.
Great fun, great crack all together.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Morgan, how has your week been? Have you been well?
Oh yeah, I've been well. I've been enduring the heat. I'm not saying surviving. I'm saying enduring the heat. I don't do well in the heat. So my co-workers and colleagues are all sick and tired of me going on saying, "Oh, isn't it hot today?" So that's been my week. Very unexciting.
I'm sick of her going on about it. With her being Irish, anything above sort of 14 degrees and she's angry with the weather.
Yeah. Speaking of the weather, it made me laugh because I saw a thing on Twitter today. It was like day 1 of the sun. It wasn't this lovely. Let's get a barbecue and grill everything. Day 2, oh, it's time to break the shorts out. Day 3, this is just getting too much. Too much.
That's it. Bring on autumn. That's what we need.
You know what? It's so bad, actually. We had a patio built a few weeks ago, and we were like, yeah, we're going to sit out and enjoy the sun. The first day it was sunny, we came and sat out. She was like, no, we need a massive parasol. So now we've got a massive parasol, so we don't actually get any sun on the patio.
We take everything for granted, don't we? We're so British in our way. Everything I like it hot, but not that hot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not too
Goldilocks. We're Goldilocks.
It'll get you bad.
Yeah, sunny, but not too hot.
Yeah.
Sunny with a breeze, not too hot.
Sunny with a breeze, and nice cloud coverage, but I still want to see the sun.
Yeah, I want to feel the sun.
Not a burny sun.
Yeah. But I want the option of popping a cardi on should I feel like it.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the cardi. Yeah. Right. Listen, we better get on with the show.
Yes.
So, Morgan, I think your story is the first story this evening.
Yes, it is.
Shall I get you a nice graphic up, Morgan? Shall I do that for you?
Yes, please do.
I'll do that for you.
Thank you. So my first story, I think it's my first story. I think I might be doing more than one tonight. Is the announcement of the changes to the guidelines for blood donation. So as of today, more gay and bi men are allowed to donate blood. Obviously, I'm sure we're all well aware of the historic discrimination towards men who have sex with men donating blood. So now the rules have changed. I'm not fully sure on the rules, but I believe it's now that I'm just trying to get get my words. It's that now that the questions that are asked should now be all of the same. So it's rather than asking if you've had sex with a man, it's essentially asking questions on recent sexual activity. So hopefully this will bring about a new level of equality in donating blood. So what this means is that anyone who's had the same sexual partner for the last 3 months will be eligible. So people who are in relationships they will be able to continue to have sex and still be able to donate blood. But what obviously the rules are, it's as always, if there is recent sexual activity that is deemed to be risky, then that obviously would still prevent you from donating blood. I'm just reading this article here, and it does also say, so those who have a new sexual partner and have not had anal sex, have not been exposed to a sexually transmitted infection, or used PrEP or post-exposure prophylaxis will also be eligible. So if you're in a new relationship, you're still able to, and you haven't got to that point in your relationship yet, you can still go and donate blood as well. Because a big, I've always thought about donating blood, and there's such the kind of the barriers that are put in place were always so high, and it's so almost kind of unsurmountable. And it's always kind of what happens if I just meet someone and you do have sex, and that means you can't then donate blood. So it was forcing a lot of gay and bi men and men who have sex with men to live like monks in a way, if they ever wanted to donate blood.
Are the same rules put upon women that sleep with men, or women who have anal sex with men, or women who are sexually casual? Because it's the same, right?
It wasn't. I don't believe it was, and I think that was the problem with the barriers that were put in place, is that the very specific questions that were asked to men were very different to the questions that were asked of women. So hopefully this is what this change will now kind of get rid of, in terms of it's not, if you're engaging in risky sexual behavior, then that will stop you from donating blood.
Aaron, did you want to come in there?
No, I wanted to ask the same question of you. The fact that women aren't being, weren't now, we know that everyone's being asked the same questionnaire across the board. But the fact that women beforehand weren't being questioned on their sexual activity, I think it's a real shame, because even with anal sex, the risk is just as high, whether you're a heterosexual, homosexual, pansexual, whatever you want to be, and the fact that that is being questioned across the board, it's very risky. It's very risky, and the fact that they've been able to get away with doing that for so long is so interesting.
As with the blood, I remember when I was in my teens, and when I knew that I was gay, and I thought, I kind of wanted to give blood, and I kind of did my own research into it, and it does really kind of it scared me as a kind of a young gay man. Sorry, bear with me. I was just getting some feedback. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. Bear with me. It's probably my fan. Bear with me. I'll endure more heat. Has that helped?
No.
Someone else take over for a minute.
Okay. Well, oh yeah, you go ahead, Aaron.
I'll chime in there though, because I know what you were getting on to saying that when you were looking into doing blood donations as a teenager growing up, and you're still not confident in your sexuality, and you don't really know what you want, and suddenly you find all these doors being closed in front of you, and you think, well, why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? I really resented the fact that I couldn't give blood for many years. And you know what absolutely made me die? I caught COVID in December, and come the January, they'd messaged me asking me if I wanted to donate my plasma for testing. And I thought, well, for however many years that I've been out and sexually active as a gay man, why are you now wanting it when you've been denying it for me for so many years?
Good enough for them when they want it.
Yeah.
I tell you, the thing that I find strange about this though is that if you're on prep, you can't donate. Like, what's the logic?
Well, I think there's. I think when we were discussing this before, I think there's slight confusion because on the article, and I think that the guidance has changed. But I think so. I have a feeling that the NHS Blood and Transplant website is hasn't been updated yet.
Okay.
So hopefully that, according to the article, which is that those on prep are eligible to donate blood, because obviously that's as long as I think it's still the restrictions in terms of if you've had a new sexual partner within 3 months you can't have, but if you are on prep you are still able to donate. So if you're in a long-term committed relationship and you're on prep, I believe that you're still fine.
Morgan, I think we're still getting some feedback from your mic.
Bear with me.
Oh, it's okay. We'll leave you to it for a minute. It's a funny one. This one, isn't it? It's a funny one. I think a massive step forward for sure. Like it is great progress.
It is a step forward,
but it almost
for
feels like half a baby step rather than the big giant leap.
Always the way with equality, though, isn't it? It's always the way with gay rights, and we're always, a few steps behind everyone else. And I think, I do. You've got to, when you look at it objectively, you understand that they need to be cautious about people who are perhaps very sexually adventurous, but that should be everybody. That shouldn't just be men who have sex with men. That should be literally everybody who doesn't necessarily have one stable partner. So I don't know. I think we're getting there, aren't we?
Yeah, we're getting there. It's not far enough.
It's a step towards equality, and that's all we can ask. Isn't it?
A step towards, but not quite there yet.
Morgan, what do you want to do? We're still getting little
crackles from you.
I don't know then. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Unplug it. That's better. It's gone.
Better. It's gone. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we can remove you from the screen and you can rejoin. Yeah. Cool. We'll try Morgan again in a minute.
Okay, so we go to Aaron's story now.
Oh, wait, no, we can still hear it. I wonder if it's you, Aaron.
Get a big crackle too over here.
Let's see.
You're back, Morgan. Say something for us.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is. It might be you, Aaron.
Let's have a look and see what.
Yeah, I think it is. Aaron. Let's unmute. Just muted you. We can't hear anything.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you well now. Yeah. So Aaron's just trying to sort himself out. So for our radio listeners,
Sorry.
The joy of still conducting most of our work online means we are reliant on the internet, and it means we do get the odd crackle. So Aaron's just trying to sort his microphone out. Hopefully we can get rid of that noise for you, and you'll be able to continue to enjoy the rest of the show without those strange noises.
We'll add Aaron back in a second, Morgan. But just
on the end of this story,
to wind this up,
yeah. What is really important is that, and I heard you just talking about it, it's like it is a step forward for equality, but there is still important steps forward, and it goes back to what I was saying last week, and what I always seem to bring up is the intersectionality of things that come forward. So while yes, this is a step forward for the LGBTQ plus community, especially for gay and bisexual men and pansexual men, I think that's a good step forward. But there's still barriers that are in place in terms of preventing people from donating blood, especially Black people, because of the question that is still existing. Bear with me, let me find it. It's a quote from the National AIDS Trust that it's still. This rule still perpetuates misleading stereotypes around HIV, and the question is, bear with me. The question is, have you had sexual relations with a partner who has or you think may have been sexually active in parts of the world where HIV/AIDS is very common, and it references most countries in Africa. So it's still kind of placing barriers, and because like the NHS Blood and Transport Service really has a very low take up of donations from Black and Asian and minority ethnic communities. So it's still placing barriers in front of minority groups in order to get them to donate blood. So I think it's essential that as we continue to fight for equality in health in the health service, that it has to remain intersectional completely. It has to.
Absolutely.
Sure, definitely.
Oh, well, we could talk about this one all night, I think, but we're gonna have to move on, aren't we? Here, so while Aaron is still trying to sort out his microphone, can we go
I'm so sorry.
Ah, you're back. You're back. Let's go to your story
I'm
now,
back.
Aaron.
I'm back.
You're
Can
back.
you see me? Because I can't see you, but you can
No,
see
we
me.
can't see you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
We can't see me, but you can hear me. I'm a voice in the abyss. I'm a voice in the absolute abyss.
You're just
Well, let's
It's
hope.
perfect for radio.
I'm just
Fine.
amazed. I'm perfect for radio. No one has to look at my face.
Oh.
But no, I will continue moving on then. So as a Lloyd Webber is quite happy to go to jail in the name of theatre, and I'm totally here for it.
Yes.
So what's happening with him then? What's this about?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, Aaron.
Tell you what, why don't we move on to the next one, and then we'll come back to Aaron.
Do you want me to kind of? Oh yeah. Well, let's come back to Aaron.
Yeah, we'll go back to it, because I know Aaron will be really good at discussing this one. So
Yeah.
I mean,
so let's go on to
my other one.
Yeah, we're going to go to the first non-binary mayor, I think. So let me just find up that graphic for you.
The joys of live recording. Eh?
I know. There we go.
Right, give us the
Okay,
lowdown on this one.
so this is kind of a story of two stories almost. So first is that there's the first ever non-binary mayor has been elected on Bangor City Council. So this is a really great step forward for.
So what's happening is Andrew Lloyd has.
Oh, hello, Aaron. You're right. Can you hear us, Aaron?
Oh, I can hear you. I can't see you. I'm
Okay.
getting there. I don't know what's going on.
Right. Listen, you sit tight for a minute. We've started on the next story, but we'll come back to Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I will. Okay, thank you.
Okay, nice one. Right,
We definitely.
go for it.
Okay, so the first ever non-binary mayor, Owen Hercombe. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Owen. It's the first ever non-binary mayor in the country to be elected to the position as mayor. So as some of you may or may not know, the mayor of a council is a kind of a ceremonial role. It's always kind of referred to as the first citizen of that area. So they're kind of like the council's representative to the outside world. So it's great that we have kind of made another step forward for LGBTQ plus and non-binary representation in politics, and so it's great. I had seen this kind of that they were elected a few weeks ago, but the second part of the story is kind of quite sad, and it's that they are saying that they've become desensitized to the online abuse, and that they're finding ways of dealing with it. And it's really kind of sad that they're having to put up with transphobic abuse, queer abuse as well, and it's really kind of disheartening that today in 2021 that we still have to go through this. So that's kind of it. Also, then raises the question of LGBTQ plus people in general in politics and in public life, and how the abuse that we as a community still have to put up with. Even though we've made all of these strides forward, it's still an ordeal at times to be queer, to be non-binary, to be trans, to be different to your cis heterosexual run-of-the-mill person, and it's kind of disheartening that we really have to continue to put up with it. But more power to Owen, Mayor Owen, really. And I was like, they're only like 22, 23, so even more power to you.
I was just going to say, like, what an achievement at that young age to hold that position and that role, and to be such a role model for other young people. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. And Kel, can you bring back up those pictures? Because how fabulous is Owen? Like, look at that.
Absolutely to die for.
I mean, that's. I mean, that's the one good thing about being a mayor, I think, is the bling that you get. The mayor's bling.
And just for the radio listeners, just there's a photograph on our screen at the moment, and one is of Owen in full ceremonial garb, the cloak and the chains and everything else. And then the second picture of him, is wearing a dress, a beautiful dress, and chains. And I just think owning it, and being themselves in the way that they want to be. And in this world, in this society, it's tricky at the best of times, let alone in such a high-profile role. And more power to them.
The thing that's worth noting, actually, is to become mayor of council, one needs to be nominated, and one needs to be supported by their council colleagues, and that obviously happened in this situation. And this person obviously, works within a very progressive and very open and tolerant council, and I think that's absolutely incredible. And we could all learn a lot of lessons. Actually, many borough and county councils could learn a lot of lessons.
Absolutely.
Totally. Absolutely. You know what the first thing that comes to mind is that person is definitely going to be good at their job, because I know that they haven't been appointed because of who they are and where they came from. It's because of how good they are at their job in the first place. So they are setting themselves their own boundary to be great, and that's incredible.
It is. It's amazing, and
love it.
Yeah, you're right. It's clearly not a case of nepotism or anything like that when you get into a position like that, is there? That's somebody that's been nominated and selected for being the best person for that job.
The colleagues that have also all been elected. So it's people who you don't always agree with. It's people that you don't always like. It's people that you don't always support, coming together and choosing this person to represent them. So it's great. I think that is great that they've been elected now. So hopefully see many more queer and non-binary and trans people get into politics. That's really why I wanted to bring this story to Muse on the News this week. It's to highlight Owen's work.
And a space in local politics. For everybody, I think that's the joy of local politics, isn't it? It's you're elected by your community, your immediate community. And
yes, local councils should be representative of the communities they represent, shouldn't they? And that's clearly happening here, and it should be happening across the country. And we're getting there. I know our councillors, it's a little bit more progressive than it has been in the past. Isn't that right, Mr. Rise?
It is, Councillor Rise.
Councillor Rise, I'm sorry, Councillor Rise.
I'm only joking. No, I think we are seeing, you're seeing much more. I think as a new generation of people in politics are coming forward, I think, especially the LGBTQ plus community and people, we're finding our voices, and we're no longer willing to sit on the sidelines. We are just kind of deciding that, it's time that we use our voice rather than have people speak for us, which is what I would like to say.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No longer wanting to be an underground member of society, but to be an outspoken and present member of society.
Yeah,
absolutely. You wait till I'm mayor. I'll make some changes. I'm aiming to be the first lesbian mayor of Surrey Heath with an undercut.
Right, listen, while Aaron's connection is good, I think we should whiz back to the Andrew Lloyd Webber story.
Yeah, let's do this, because I'm really interested in this. So let's get Andy Lloyd Webber up.
Let's get him out. Let's get him in. Let's get this out as soon as possible before something happens.
I think it's Andy Lloyd Webber trying to stop you from talking about
it.
He
is. He's trying to get out the back of the paddy wagon after today's announcement, because Andrew Lloyd Webber has said he is willing to go to jail in order to get his show Cinderella open in the theatres. Now, as we know from just a few hours ago, our final release date has now been pushed back slightly. So this means that some places aren't being able to return to the state that they once were before COVID restrictions came in place, which means that places like theatres, cinemas, etc. are having to run with reduced capacity. And a lot of these places are really expensive to run. So without an audience active participation, we aren't able to run them. And Andrew Lloyd Webber has gone on to state that each of his theatres is costing him up to £1 million a month. And, you know, it's hard to say when you know about Andrew Lloyd Webber's full persona and, you know, the things that he owns. But when someone like that is coming forward and saying, this is how much it costs, I'm taking out a second mortgage on my house in order to keep my theatres open. I know I'm going to have to sell if this continues. I think it's really good to highlight the struggle that people in the theatre are still going through today, even though, you know, we're seeing things are coming back. We've seen things on the live streams, but live still need to push to get people going to the theatre, going to see things live. It's enough to say, yes, we want theatre back. We want to do this. We want to do that. Well, if something does open, please be active. Go and see it. The history states, look, COVID has not been a right thing at a theatre from sitting socially distanced from your peers. I'm pretty sure you've got a higher chance of catching COVID on a South Western Railway service at 10 o'clock at night after a football game. Ask me. I know. I was trapped on there like a tin of sardines. You know, it's really important that we are actively supporting people in the theatre community. And I think it's more important now more than ever, where we're not quite ready to completely open. We're still creeping in, you know?
I think the impact on, I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber, like, as far as I'm concerned, he's got tons of money and he can absorb it. But where I really feel, you know, I feel really sorry for the artists, you know, a lot of the, you know, I'm thinking like Grace Petrie and
but you know
Susie
what?
Blue, people who've been with us who, you know, rely on those gigs weekend in, weekend out, and they're just not getting them. And it's been a long haul. And people like you, Aaron, as well, who, you know, used to performing and doing your gigs here and there, and it's, you know, it's really difficult times.
I think everybody who has relied on it's the arts in general. We can't just, you know, say that this is theatres, this is, you know, local small venues, and this is local artists, and this is not just the artists, this is the sound guy, and you know, and the people that work the ticket desks, and the cleaners, and everybody that works within those establishments to run them smoothly and nicely and well, who rely on the arts for their income and to feed their family. I think it's really been pushed down the list of priorities in terms of this government package of assistance, hasn't it?
Yeah.
COVID? You know, for them to come out and say, well, you know, everyone can retrain and become a carpenter is horrific. You know, the emails we've had over the last 18 months, you know, we're you know, supporters of the RSC, and we've had an email every week saying, you know, the RSC's in trouble of you know, going under because we're not being supported by the government. We can't afford to pay our artists. We don't know what's going on. We can't, you know, maintain our buildings. And when you've got, you know, in Britain, the likes of the RSC saying that they're struggling, you know that there hasn't been any support for those people.
It's also, I think it's almost indicative of kind of I think it's just the general attitude to the arts that has been over the last decade or 2 decades of, we'll just keep cutting funding and they'll find new ways to pay themselves. And I think what the pandemic has really shown is that, you know, that there's actual limit to what that can actually be done, limit to where we can do that. And I think, we can obviously talk about Andrew Lloyd Webber, but I'm just that's over the lockdown, he has had to spend on his 6 theatres £108 million. Yes, he's very, very wealthy. But that's still,
he carries on like that.
Certainly,
if you think about that across London, just in particular, is like how much has it had to cost to keep theatres running? So in order to be able to keep them open for the future, and it's totally. So many, and it's the entire art sector kind of really didn't have access to the furlough scheme, really didn't have access to any of the support that came out from the government, which most other industries had. It's the arts and culture sector is such a specialized and integral part of our society.
It's essential.
It's essential, for our cultural development. And it's easy for a lot of people to poo-poo that, but it is essential that we actually maintain and build the arts. And there's also, and I was just going back to the thing they can retrain. I'm like, well, if you I'd say that to a ballerina who spent 20 years training to get a contract at the Royal Ballet or the English National Ballet, and then spending another 15 years performing, that's like 35 years of experience. And like, that's just not experience you just throw away.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back in, Aaron?
I think it was so interesting how you were saying, the government has been kind of downscaling the whole industry of saying they'll find something to keep afloat, they'll still find something to keep afloat. And then suddenly the microscope is so small that even you're now starting to zoom out and realize all the people that you thought had the funding, had the ability to do this because they were these huge companies, actually don't. They live shore to shore, week to week, just the same as every other jobbing actor, jobbing musician, jobbing comedian, jobbing singer, jobbing sound technician. We all live from gig to gig, and if the gigs aren't happening, then unfortunately we can't pay anyone, and then the ladder filters down that way because there's been no support going back up a bit.
I know. Oh, what can we do? Only hope for the best.
Well,
we can only hope for the best.
Like, hopefully things will at some point this year get back to normal, and we can get some bums on seats, and we can get the arts rejuvenated and invigorated again. But one thing I will say is if anyone's out there and they have got a spare few quid that they're usually chuck in a pot somewhere, do consider donating it to to local venues or even to the larger venues in London and around the country that are struggling, because we need to save them.
Imagine life without theatre. I just can't.
Once it's gone, it's gone. Once it is
but
gone,
that's it.
But it's important. Like, again, it's really important. It's the innovative and the adaptability that the arts does show, that even during the pandemic and the lockdown, they have demonstrated that they're able. They have they are showing their worth, and I think it's essential for everyone now, when we are coming out of lockdown, that you actually go to those gigs, that you actually go. You always kind of put it off. No, actually book it. Yes, it's an expense you may not always afford, but if you can, book to go and see that local comedian or that singer, or go up to London and go to the West End. That's really kind of how we rebuild the arts sector.
Don't rely on streaming things on YouTube and whatever. Actually get out there and go and support the venues.
Have a look, see what's on.
Isn't it? I mean, I absolutely just I love theatre anyway, but I love any kind of live entertainment, really. Whether it's a gig in a pub or the local arts centre, or whether it is the West End, whatever you're into, just go and do as much of it as you can as soon as well. Even now, the things that are open for restricted audience sizes or whatever, just go along if you can, because they need you.
I think the art is absolutely for everybody in some way, shape and form. You just need to find it. Look in your local paper, look in your local websites, look further afield, because there's something there for everybody. So if you could support that, it would be incredible.
It's like, even in Surrey, we have great theatres. We've got the Yvonne Arnaud, we've got theatres. Even you don't even have to go that far to see great stuff.
You don't, and you know what? The local theatres have some absolutely cracking stuff on them. That's where you find the people that are, that are still you're still honing their craft, and they're brilliant, and they might not be selling out huge great big theatres, but they're absolutely fantastic, and you will see them on bigger stages in years to come. But we up at Yvonne Arnaud, they show some incredible stuff, and we've seen some really
incredible plays,
impressive plays, and one woman shows, and just some stuff that you wouldn't necessarily see on a larger larger stage.
So wouldn't even work on a larger stage.
Wouldn't work on a larger stage.
The joy of a small intimate venue for me is just I love it just as much as being in the heart of the West End. So let's get behind the entertainment industry and the arts industry. Let's do it.
Live entertainment. Let's bring live entertainment back.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes. Starting with Fringe, right?
Indeed. Yes, July, the whole of July. If you're in Guildford, book yourself. There's loads of stuff going on for the whole month.
Love
Brilliant. Brilliant. We're gonna look into that. Right. Okay. Cool. What we left with is yours.
So yeah, this one doesn't really take a lot of discussion,
That's
but
good,
it's
35 minutes.
really, really important actually. So some people may have seen that we've had a few redesigns recently of the pride flag. We've had a recent redesign. There we go, and just line it up nicely for you, which now represents the intersex community. So obviously we've had the rainbow flag for quite a while, the Gilbert Barker design, and then we've got the progressive flag. So they've added the black and brown stripe for people of colour, and the pink, the blue, and the white to represent the trans community. And now they've stuck this lovely little representation of the intersex community on there. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a bit busy because they're so used to the traditional Gilbert Baker flag, but I love it. And the more people we can get represented on this little flag of ours, and the more we can actually, you know, fly these and say, do you know what, we love everyone and you're all welcome. And, you know, yeah, this is you're our crowd. And I think it's absolutely wonderful. And I can't wait to get my hands on one of these.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, we don't have one yet. We don't have. We thought we were doing well when we picked up our progressive flag.
Yeah, we thought we were progressive getting the progressive flag, and it's changed already. What do you think, boys?
Isn't it so true? It's so true. Is it too busy? No, because our community is so vast and so colourful. There's no such thing as too busy. We want everyone to be represented, and if we can have a chance to do that on a flag, nothing is busy enough, really.
I was just about to say, it's not busy enough, to be honest. It's not busy enough. That's why that joke I always say to people is like, I know that being gay is not a choice, because if I could choose, I would be gayer. So I think that's kind of what our community is. I think if our community is so inclusive, and that's what our flag should be. And if people were saying it's too busy, well, you know what? Turn up the volume, because it's going to get louder.
Oh no, it's just old habits die hard, isn't it? You know, us old 40-something dykes that have been used to just the normal rainbow flag. It's you know, it does take a little bit of getting used to, but actually I love it, and I fully embraced the progressive flag when it came along, because I love to know that everybody feels welcome, and that's exactly, you know, how I feel about everybody. Everybody's welcome to me, and I like to be able to represent that with a flag. And hopefully, Morgan, we can get this flying outside the Surrey Heath Borough Council buildings next month.
I think so. I think so. I don't see why not. I'll just tell them to raise it.
Yeah. I love this flag. I think you know, it also looks pretty. I just like it. And on like various community forums, it's been a real mixed response, hasn't it? I mean,
the older people tend to dislike, but they dislike the progressive flag and the newer ones anyway, don't they? Because it's different. And
different is good. I like this. I think it is really inclusive, and in terms of the Pride in Surrey team, everybody was really positive about this. When I think Stephen put a picture of it into one of our WhatsApp groups, I think, and said, look at this, look what's coming. And it's been really well received amongst our team, and I hope it'll be embraced across the world, because I love it. I think it's great. Something for everyone in there.
I think it's fab.
I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's all about intersectionality, and it's about ensuring that our community, I think the rainbow flag, I think, was needed when it was needed. I think it was a good representation at the time when it was needed. But now, as our fight for equality continues, I think it's really important that we actually highlight the other aspects, other parts of our community that for too long have been asked at times to take a back seat. And I think it's actually time for us to say, you know what, we are all one community. It's all of us together.
You know, and particularly with the rise of hate groups such as the LGB Alliance, I think it's really important that we all adopt these new flags as quickly and as you know, fully as we can, and make sure that we're using them and using them to represent our organisations, so we can actually say, you know what, you are welcome with us.
Love it.
Love.
Right.
Okay. I think it's a great. I think, you know, as a ever-changing community.
Yeah, exactly. Life changes and people change and the world changes, and we're keeping up with it.
So much quicker than a lot of the other places.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely,
true.
Yes.
absolutely. So,
Right.
shall we move on to everybody's favourite segment of this show?
Yeah, go on, play the jingle.
The thing that everyone actually tunes in for.
Aaron, if you've any contacts, we need a new jingle. Listen to
No,
this.
everybody loves this jingle, Aaron.
Nobody does.
Word of the week. Word of the week. Word of the week.
So
Isn't it
bad.
good?
That's fabulous. It's fabulous.
Yeah, Aaron wants us to go on to the Fringe and
With word
do
of
it
the week.
with the word of the week jingle.
Hey, listen, I found this word. Shall I tell you?
So, Lisa's word of the week.
Are you ready for it, everybody?
Are you ready?
It's boondoggle.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Doesn't that sound brilliant? I just love that boondoggle.
Sounds like a 90s band.
Well, whatever. I don't
yeah,
care.
like 90s kind of like hip, like
Grunge.
no, not I was gonna say like a hip hop / funk bands.
No, it was like Boondoggle was either
That's what it
a
sounds
grunge
like.
band or the kind of band that would have released Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
hip hop funk band.
Good tune. I love a bit of Cotton Eye Joe. But anyway, there you go. That's me showing my age.
I'm seeing dungarees. Lots of denim.
Yes.
Yes, and big oversized plaid shirts.
Yeah,
Yes.
But anyway, this word means to do work of little or no practical value, merely to keep or look busy. So when we found this word, Kel was saying that's our kids all over.
Tis our kids all over.
Totally true. Make themselves look busy so they don't get a job to do. So
Do you know what? There's people in
Yeah.
every workplace, and they're those people that know if they walk around with a piece of paper, they generally look busy. So they can just
are they boondoggling?
they're walking at speed around the venue with a piece of paper because nobody questions them if they're holding a piece of paper.
And they're boondoggling.
They're
Is it a
boondoggling.
verb? Is it a
Yes, why
the
not?
boondoggle.
Yeah.
A boomdoggler.
boondoggler?
Oh,
Yes.
oh! I'm going to call one of the kids
You
a boondoggle. You
boondoggler.
boondoggler.
Yeah,
Yes, stop it.
I
brilliant.
think
Anyway,
we've all been classic boomdogglers, you know.
Not me. Not me. No.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
No, I
Oh.
do 100% all the time.
I don't believe that for a
I don't
second.
believe that at all.
Well, I feel very, very offended. I haven't even got a piece of paper.
That's what happens when you get two gay
She's got
guys
a piece of
together. They
paper.
just gang up on you. That's what happens when you get any two,
Right,
more
anyway,
than one gay guy in a
we
room.
both appear to have broken up and we have a terrible connection. So I'm going to
Oh.
move on to everybody's
We don't. Poor Aaron's face. We don't have a
everybody-
No.
Fine.
everybody's second favourite segment of this show. The one that works particularly well for radio, Goat of the Week.
Yeah.
Hey!
Oh wow.
And this week we have
Oh.
Anthony from Cambridge. Anthony actually nominated himself. He's still at home, unable to go back to his studies. He's reading advanced physics at the Jesus College, but he hopes very, very much to be able to go out to the States and join the space program at some point. But isn't Anthony a hunk?
Yes. Now
Mm.
I'm going to throw it over. Which one of you boys would like to describe Anthony for the radio listeners?
Aaron, you go.
Go on, Aaron.
Okay, Anthony.
Give us your dulcet tones. Tell us about Anthony.
Okay, I'll do my best. Anthony is a lovely, he's of a brunette look, very tall, dark and handsome, with a gorgeous horn-rimmed set of glasses on him. He's got a nose and snout to die for, and really, I could just imagine him telling me all of his knowledgeable words and phrases and just absolutely making me weak at the knees with it, you know? He's definitely a suitor, and he'll definitely show you a good time, and you'll definitely want to call him afterwards.
And there we go.
Oh.
I don't think we've ever had a goat described as well for the radio.
Aaron, I'm going
Ever.
to bring you back every week.
Aaron, every
You're
week,
for Goat of the
yes,
Week.
we need you to describe Goat of the Week for the radio listeners. But in fact, you know, I think Anthony's going to be over the moon when he watches this show and he sees.
Oh, I
sees
hope so.
Yeah.
You know what Anthony is not?
Up with you.
Anthony is not a boondoggler.
No,
He is not a
no.
boondogler. No.
Anthony puts in his best all the time.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah. And if I could just
Yeah.
move on and just tell you about another crowd of people that put on the best all the time, it's the team at Pride in Surrey. And today marks officially 100 days until our main event in the beautiful historic market town of Godalming. So let me just, I've got like graphics galore. Here we go. 100 days to go.
Wow.
So please get online, get over to our website, prideinsurrey.org, secure your event pass. Please do that. basically, we're desperate to see you all there, and we cannot wait. Keep your eyes peeled on our social media and our radio show to hear further updates with regards to acts. But it is going to be a day out to remember.
We've got some good acts booked.
We are honestly, we are so excited to be able to announce our acts this year because they are fantabulous.
Yeah, we can't say anything just yet, but
we can't.
It's going to be great. It's going to be really, really good. Really, really good. And I'm well excited. And it's going to be so nice to be back after missing last year, you know. Can't wait. Can't wait to have everyone back together and enjoying a good old shindig in the park. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, and can I just mention for Parade as well? So before the main event starts, there will be hopefully a really, really big parade going through Godalming Town. Please do watch out on the website. Bookings will be opening for that very, very soon. We paraded last time with our kids. It's a really fun, vibrant, loud, crazy, family-friendly parade, and I would encourage everyone to go along because it's just great crack, isn't it?
Please do, yeah. It's a fun day, but also remember, Pride is still a protest. So if you want to, get your placards out, yeah, we had placards, and our son had this massive graphic sign saying, "My mum's okay and it's okay," and he got on the front page of every paper in a 20-mile radius. So yeah, get your placards out. Protest and come and show us your pride. Be part of our pride.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Right, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us as a guest. Will you come back again?
Babe, I will come back whenever you want, and I will come back with a stronger internet connection than before.
Okay, he's going to come back with an Ethernet cable. We'll go on in the post. But you know what? The words we've heard have been fabulous, Aaron.
I'm glad. I'm so glad.
So, but before we chip off, shall we hear from one of our great friends of Pride in Surrey?
I'm Zoe Lyons. Sometimes it's easier just to text. Text TALK to 88440. You're not alone.
The wonderful, fierce Zoe Lyons. I absolutely love her. She's like the queen of doing half marathons and big swims.
Going in the sea when she shouldn't.
Yeah, she's just brilliant. Brilliant. Lovely lady.
Yeah.
We loved speaking to her.
We love speaking to her.
Where can we find that interview if you want to?
You can find that interview on our Facebook page. You can also find it on our YouTube page, LGBTQ+ Online. Go and have a look at all the interviews that we've done with all the fabulous, wonderful people that have agreed to spend their time chatting to us and talking scribble about whatever's going on that day. But we really have been privileged to speak to some incredible people. So head over there and see what they had to say.
Brilliant. Okay, right. Good night to everybody. And
boys, thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me again.
It's a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Oh,
Right.
so lovely.
And we'll see you all next week. Cheerio.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.